All right, Shalom. First and foremost, gonna give all praises and glories due. Kwahala, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshua, Bashem, Kwakadash. Much love and respect to the elders and apostles and bishops of Great Millstone, and honors and salutations to all you Akim out there on the highways and byways, noise in this road abroad, all around the world, to the spirit and power of Allah, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshua. This is no thanks. But yeah, there was a power outage that took place the day before yesterday. Actually, I was in the house, and everything just went down, or whatever. So it was a widespread power outage that took place in Boston, here in Boston, Massachusetts, which, you know, which I believe, they're doing a test run with this, with this whole power outage thing to get the reaction of the people, because this is not the first time, something like this had taken place this year. I remember, earlier at the beginning of the year, as I was getting ready for work, early in the morning, that, the power went out, you know. It was like for at least a brief, at least 2 to 3 minutes, and it came back on, And this happened a couple of times. So I believe that they're doing this, to get the reaction of the people, because we already know that eventually Esau, he's definitely going to cut the power, okay? He's definitely going to cut the power, and, people are going to lose it, So he's trying to do a problem, reaction, solution kind of thing, So this is exactly what we're seeing right now, all right? But, let me just get into this article a little bit and then get a scripture. All right, so it says, Boston, a widespread power outage in Boston affected thousands of customers Wednesday afternoon, including a medical center traffic signal, some city schools, and police precincts. As of 3:45 p.m., an Eversource map showed more than 27,000 outages stretching across Boston from the Columbia Point area near the JFK Library throughout Dorchester and the Back Bay. The outage also affected traffic lights, and some intersections had police officers directed motorists. By 4:30 p.m., Eversource said all customers were back online. As Boston Medical Center spokesman said center was briefly affected by the outage. Backup power systems were activated immediately, and patient care was not impacted. Power has been restored, and the hospitals is at normal operations, BMC said in a statement. Eversource said it worked as quickly and safely as possible to restore power, which was caused by a power outage at one of our substations in Andrew Square. You know, but the thing is, these power outages are taking place all over the world. Like, not to mention the power outages out there in Eastern Europe. You know, we can't forget about that. You know, so you know, so definitely Esau is definitely doing something. Esau is definitely moving, because we're definitely in that time. Okay, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we're definitely in that time where this devil, he's definitely gonna come down. Okay, so we know that this devil, he's just putting his pieces together now, because eventually Time is getting short. Things are moving quickly. We're already in the middle of the year already. We're about to be in the middle of the year. You know, so things are moving fast. So this devil, he's just trying to put his pieces together. You know, so we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So let's get that scripture. All right. So this is Second Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, and it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." So we're not ignorant of this devil's devices or what he's doing, because we already know that he has a plan, and that's to subdue the people. That's to bring the people, saying to their knees and accepting, their enterprise, their new world order, you know, the NWO, and which is going to come in the form of the RFID hip. Okay, so we know that that's their ultimate plan, is to have everybody, C hipped up, you know. So we believe that they're using the power, because eventually, you people can't live without power, that's a necessity, you know. So we already know that he's gonna use that, he's gonna cut the power and use that as an advantage, to get control over the people. All right. And we already know this through, various movies like, the Book of Eli, The Road, what I'm saying, whatever. Um, other movies sort of saying, these are apocalyptic movies like, Walking Dead, Z Nation, these other, you know, sitcoms. All right, so we're not ignorant, and not to mention, what I'm saying, and they're talking about empty food shelves, you know. So when the power outages was going on over there in Europe and things like that, what I'm saying, it's not a coincidence that it's happening here too. All right, so there you go. So they just they just making that move, okay, because this devil, he knows that his time is limited. He knows that he got a limited time left. What I'm saying, to rule. So he wants to just try to get his pieces together. Let's get a Salakia. Let's get this right here. All right, so this is the book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he got but a short time." You see that? So the devil, he's gonna come down, have a great wrath, because he knoweth that he got but a short time. All right. So it's no wonder why things like this are happening. Okay, where you got these power outages and all of that. All right. That's him coming down upon the people with great wrath, because he knows that his time is limited. Okay. All right. He knows this. So from this point on, get ready to see more things, more catastrophic things going down. Okay. Get ready to see these things, more things happening. Okay. Because we're definitely living in that time. Okay. We're living in the time of prophecy. Okay. So everything, from the head apostles, XMS on down, has been saying, you know, now it's starting to pay off. Okay, now the investment is starting to pay off now, and now nobody can gainsay against this word. Okay, nobody could gainsay against it. All right, because we're in that time. All right, so get ready to see some more stuff go down. In the near future. So with that, I'm gonna leave it there. This just been a quick hit. I'm gonna give all praises and glories due to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Kwakadash. Shalom.